Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at part 2 of the Christmas vignette. Just got back off of a trip for work, and so today what I plan on doing is finishing the base with the joint compound. But before we get to that, I want to show you this is the finished cobblestone pathway. It's painted. I painted the edging to look like some rock and hopefully a little bit of snow. It's not done yet, but it's sort of in that flavor. And then what I did learn is I painted some white on top. I did learn, since I usually do Halloween and not Christmas, don't use black marker on here because it's hard to cover up even with paint. This was before it started drying, it was covered up. I couldn't really see it, and then it dried, and here you go. So lesson to me. You won't see it because I will cover it with snow. These are going to be areas where trees are going to be, so you won't see those either. But it is good to know not to do that anymore with a black marker. Maybe a pencil or something would be better. So with that, today we're going to put some joint compound around the cobblestone pathway to simulate some deeper snow, some snow drifts, some where they've shoveled it off of the cobblestone pathway. Some snow drifts around to give it a little more undulated texture to help it look a little more realistic. And this is going to take probably a day or so to dry. But once it's dry, then honestly after that, all we're going to do is paint it up a little bit, put some glue on it, and then start putting the snow effects on it. And I think at that point we're done, ready to set it up and decorate it. So with that, let's show you the joint compound. Okay, so here you can see the box of joint compound. I got this at Lowe's, I believe it was. We were doing some home remodeling, and I needed some of this to do some touch-up work around the house. So this is a pre-mixed box. It says it's ultra lightweight, but they lied. It's incredibly heavy. I don't know how much it weighs. Obviously, it's a box full of joint compound, but it is the ultra lightweight when it dries. And so you can get this to, it almost costs, it's very inexpensive, put it that way. I think we paid, I don't know, $8 or $10 for this whole pre-mixed box. So it's not very expensive at all. And so if you take a look on the inside here, I'll try to kind of put this bag down over it. Here, instead of doing that, let me just show you. That's sort of what it looks like. I'm going to take a couple of spoonfuls, because I don't know exactly how much I'm going to need yet. But I can't imagine I need any more than 3 or 4 big spoonfuls. Okay, and then the way I store this is I just keep it wrapped, really tight. And put one of these ties around it, like a bread tie. And then I store this in under my garage or laundry room cabinet under the sink. I keep it somewhat out of the elements. It doesn't need to get real hot or real cold. And then I'll use this plate here to mix it up with. And it says on the directions, and certainly would not be a bad idea. I'm going to add a little bit of water. So give me a second here. Okay, got a little bit of water in that, and so just start mixing this stuff up to where it's a nice pasty appearance. Now you need to work it a little bit to get some of the texture out of it. It doesn't take long. And then you've got a while to work with this. It's got a pretty good set time there, working time, so you don't have to rush. Here you can see I'm just using a small putty knife to smear some of the joint compound up real close to the cobblestone pathway. And this should give it the effect of kind of a snow drift or a snow pile that may have been swept off of that cobblestone. And here I'm just taking some more of the joint compound and randomly putting it around on top of the display and then kind of spreading it out, almost like peanut butter, I suppose. And hopefully this will help to give it more of an undulated look, a little more texture to the piece when you're looking at it versus one, the snow being all one layer. It should look like drifts and snowbanks and things like that. So I'm just doing that randomly. And here I'm just smoothing some of that out to get some of the rougher textures out to make it more realistic, at least in my opinion, to have it smooth versus jagged in the open fields. And then here, after taking a better look at it, I'm taking some of that snowdrift material off around the cobblestone. It's pretty thick, and if I want this to be able to dry within the next day or so, I figure here I probably should take a little bit of that off. It still looks fine. I don't think it needs to be quite that thick. And so I'm going to put this aside and let it dry through the night. Come back and check on it tomorrow. Okay, so hopefully that was a quick down and dirty tutorial on how to add the joint compound. I've only done this on the test piece, and it dried and it looked okay. It's thick in certain areas, so we'll see how that sets up over the remainder of the night and into tomorrow. Come back and check on it sometime tomorrow and see how that works. But all in all, I'm pretty pleased with it. Doesn't look like much right now, obviously, as you can see, but I think once that gets a chance to dry, now it won't dry completely white. It's sort of an off-white, almost a gray color, so it will need some paint, and then we'll put the glue on it, and then we'll put the snow mixture on it to kind of finish that off. But I think it will help the realism if I'm thinking right. So let's see how that works. If you're curious to how I went from the painting here, honestly, guys, I was very simple. I used a pretty good coat of raw umber and put that all around the sides. Then I went to a a burnt umber on top of that, then a burnt sienna with a real dry brush. And then I just took titanium white or any white that you've got and went over the top of all that and got that snow effect there. I may do some more work on that after we're done to see what it looks like. But that's how that was all accomplished off camera. So, hey, if you like the video, click the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and consider doing so. Again, it helps keep me inspired and motivated to keep pushing these videos out. Feel, again, like I'm behind the power curve for Christmas decorating and building these. So you're going to be getting your money's worth over the next few days and few weeks leading up into the Christmas and holiday season. So until then, take care of yourselves. We'll see you real soon.